Hello and welcome. I'm Rambo Talabong and you're watching Rappler Talk. For today's episode, we will be speaking with incoming Philippine National Police Chief Lieutenant General Camilo Cascolan. A question that he's facing early on in his term, even before he has assumed his post as PNP Chief, is that he only has 2 months to serve in that position unless President Duterte extends his term because he will be retiring in November. General Cascolan, thank you for joining us in the program.
Thank you, Rabo. Good morning, and to all those who are with us today.
General Cascolan, let's go straight to the point. The biggest challenge and the biggest question right now is you only have 2 months before you retire in November. What do you hope to achieve in 2 months?
Well, Rambo, it's not only today that I serve in the Philippine National Police. I've been serving this since day one of becoming an officer in the PNP. And with this, I would say that it is just a continuing service to the people. Basically, I have been part of all the decisions and actually some of the initiatives, a lot of the initiatives, especially in the Philippine National Police, most especially operational in nature. But first and foremost will be the health and welfare of our people. How would you be able to do that? And through that, we would be able to come out with a lot of initiatives with regard to morale. First of all, boosting the performance of each and every individual and each unit will be very, very important in my 2-month stint as a Chief Philippine National Police. Of course, when you talk about morale and welfare also, when you talk about boosting the work performance of each individual and each unit, you will be able to come up with an increased performance in the organization. So that would be basically one of the focus of my program.
General Cascolan, before we go to the topics you've raised right now, yung morale and what to do in your term, meron bang talks of extending your term? Because this isn't really the first time that President Duterte appointed a general into a high post and then in-extend niya. Ang una niya ginawa ito kay General Guerrero, di ba, sa Armed Forces. Meron bang talks for extending your term, if ever?
Well, I'm not privy to it, Lambo, actually. I just received my appointment yesterday afternoon. Be happy, and I would like to thank, of course, the President for his trust and confidence in me.
General, meron ba tayong natanggap na marching orders from President Duterte or any of his trusted aides?
None yet as of now. I still have to talk to the President and, of course, personally thank him.
DILG Secretary Anyo, meron bang sinabi, General?
Wala pa ho. I still have to talk also to the Secretary of Interior and Local Government, Secretary Anyo.
Okay. General, nabanggit niyo that you want to focus on boosting the morale of the Philippine National Police. How would you describe the morale of the Philippine National Police today?
Well, it's good. But if you have much more better morale, if you will be able to increase and boost more the morale of the people, the performance will go high. As what I did in NCRPO, the morale of the people was boosted. And basically, crimes went down by more than 20%. And this was a big factor, actually, in my stint as a NCRPO regional director.
General, the 2 biggest campaigns that the Philippine National Police is facing right now is the landmark campaign, the anti-drug campaign of President Duterte, which has been going on since 2016. And then the big challenge right now of our time, which is the coronavirus, and the Philippine National Police is one of the frontliners. What are your policy proposals on how the Philippine National Police can better execute these projects?
Well, there will be periodic evaluation. As of this moment, I have already ordered an evaluation of the drug war. We will be able to come up with initiatives, innovations, so that we will be able to enhance and improve the drug war. We will be dealing much more with high-value individuals, and at the same time, come up with link networks that will be used in our campaign. We are hoping that we will be able to at least minimize, if not stop at all, the drug syndicates that are in our country.
So the biggest questions that have been floating around for years already for the drug war is bakit palaging ang focus ay yung mga maliliit na targets? Why the poor communities? Bakit hindi ganoong karami ang mga drug lords? What would be your proposals to address this concern?
Well, it will still be there, but at least the focus right now will be case build-ups against high-value individuals. It would be case build-up because of the fact that it would be very hard for us to pin down high-value targets. most especially if they have been there for such a long time already. With regard to the arrest of those who are in the streets, this will be, of course, still part of our program, but we will be focusing more on case build-up, links and networking, linked networks of these drug syndicates. We will come up with what you call more investigative analysis on who should be arrested and apprehended. So that
General Cascolan, General, you've been in this policy business ever since the Duterte administration took place, and you were the director for operations. And I think you can also attest that the Philippine National Police has been saying this for a long time already. What's new? What do you want to introduce under your term?
Introduce? What do you mean?
Yes, General. Kasi sinasabi na dati pa ng PNP na we want to intensify intelligence. We want to do this. We want to do that. For the past few years, what do you think is missing? Kasi hindi naman nagbabago, General, yung criticism up until today.
Yeah. Actually, when it comes to the anti-drug war, we need to evaluate it. We need to have a new face. We need to have much more trained EU personnel. We need to have much more passion when it comes to anti-drugs. Secondly, is I will be discussing to the president regarding a development program that I wish would be approved. Because of this, I want the PNP to develop, the organization to grow, and at the same time come up with skilled PNP personnel. Not only skilled, we also have to delineate a lot of functions that we are in. Say, for example, delineating anti-criminality from anti-terrorism to anti-insurgency. So those are things that we want. Of course, we want to reorg or restructure our organization so that we would be able to come up with a lot of positions, be able to increase ranks, and be able to come up with the PNP being always visible in the streets. Alam mo, you know what, Rambo, we have in July to August, I came up with an analysis of the ratio of PNP to the policemen, to the community. We have more or less, at this moment, 200,000 PNP personnel, and we only have 146 generals. The AP has 120,000 personnel, but they have 191 generals. That's a big comparison, right? Difference when it comes to the number of one, but it's uncomparable because they're AFP, we are PNP. But
yes.
The span of control is so big for regional directors. So we need to basically delineate functions, come up with focus units for activities, for operational activities in the Philippine National Police.
General, nabanggit niyo there's a development program that you want to instill in a new phase of the drug war. So meron organizational policies, which is restructuring. But when it comes to the policy itself, Upland Double Barrel, the plan that you took part in crafting, meron bang pagbabago doon?
Hindi naman kwan. Meron tayong mga sinasabi. We will have to have new initiatives, innovations, so that we would be able to improve the drug program. Of course, we talk about the whole of nation approach. No? We have to get the support of the community. We need to get the ideas of other people other than the PNP. Of course, we need everybody to work for this, hoping that we will be able to come up with a holistic approach on the anti-drug war. Well, of course,
Sir, tanungin ko pa, sir, yung development program na sinabi niyo, meron pa bang other aspect to it? So the first one is the personnel side. Na matagal na rin nilalobby ng Philippine National Police. Is there another aspect to it? In development program that you're saying that you hope the president approves?
Well, the development program is for the whole PNP, not just for the anti-drug war.
Okay. So
Yes.
PNP mismo. Okay,
Yes.
sir. Then let's go to the other issues, sir. Yung pandemic. The Philippine National Police is also one of the frontliners in this battle against the virus. Meron ba kayong i-introduce na policy for the PNP to better and more efficiently face this crisis?
Actually, Rambo, I am the chairman of the Admin Support on COVID Operations Task Force, and I have already embedded or implemented some initiatives. We have what you call the barangay enforcement teams right now that are helping the barangays, and I have instilled in them that you should lead the enforcement in all barangays, be able to help all barangay officials, and at the same time, if ever it would be very hard for you, let's enjoin the women, the respected women, mature respected women of the barangay, so that they would be able to discipline their own people in their community. Second is, I have implemented marshalling for all public transport, for buses, jeepneys, even tricycles. You could see them right now at terminals and other areas where usually people consolidate. And thirdly, we have what you call the red teaming. This is a group of PNP officers that will be able to evaluate if the BETs and at the same time the marshals are doing their job properly in every aspect. Being the chairman of the ASCOT, Rambo actually is, we maintain Ultra as the COVID facility for COVID positive, PICC for COVID positive also, and also for recovering. We also maintain the MOA swabbing facility, MOA arena swabbing facility. PNP officers are the ones swabbing the people in that area. We also maintain our quarantine facilities, most especially here in Camp Crame. And all regions have their own quarantine facilities. The only problem maybe is that we have an increased of number of COVID positive in NCRPO, yes, which we are right now very concerned. We have what you call an analytical workshop for them to know where were they infected, how were they infected, and how would we be able to resolve that. We have what you call also the CPDIGs, which basically caters to all Philippine National Police personnel. They are being evaluated, data is given, and at the same time, on a daily basis, we would know if they are not feeling well or not. I have also implemented the body system for all our people so that each one will look over the other. Checking each other would be great. This would basically decrease the work of the medical reserve force. And at the same time, we are also helping out in the protocols being implemented in other offices in our areas of responsibility. Say, for example, in NCRPO, we go around other facilities, departments, so that we will be able to help out in the red teaming. The red teaming is one of the things that we need to share to all departments of the government so that we will be able to stop, if not be able to minimize, if not stop, this pandemic.
General, a piercing issue for these two big issues that we've discussed already, the drug war and the pandemic, is this alleged culture of abuse in the Philippine National Police. And nakita natin to sa drug war, sinasabi na ng police that they go rogue and kill drug suspects without any discrimination. And then this has been brought to light in recent weeks after also Holo cops being accused of killing intelligence officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines in Holo. So dire-diretso na yung problemang yan, sir. How can the Philippine National Police address this? And especially, how can you address this in your term?
Well, first of all, you need to guide these people. And how will you be able to guide your, how will you be able to guide this and be able to discipline these people? You come up with what you call seminars like lead, mentor, and disciplining people. Lead, mentor, and discipline. The other one would be, we will never tolerate that. We have to instill in them that they have to, when during operations, they have to keep in mind the human rights principle. At the same time, come up with other innovations so that improving their tour of duties would be good. Improving their placing people near the residences during their duties so that they would be able to respond well. Basically, because some people would not be able to work better if the families are away from them, most especially if something is happening in the families. That's what I call localization. Transferring people near the residences or in the areas of residences would be very good for them. They would be able to minimize the abuses, if not actually, they would be able to stop those abuses because it would be a shame for them to be doing bad things inside the areas of residences. At the same time, of course, as I've said, moral and welfare is very common. It's very, very effective. People who is high in morale, and basically their welfare is being worked on, we are satisfied with their lives. No? We have a good salary that was given to us by the president himself. We have good leaders. We have a lot of things to expect, most especially that a lot of us are actually good in what we are doing. We have in place principles at the same time, ideas that will be able to help out. Sana nga, I'm just hoping, Rambo, no, that with the leading them by example and mentoring them in the right way, we'll be able to instill them that discipline that we really need.
General, yun nga rin yung it's still a persisting criticism for the PNP. Ang sinasabi nila, kahit tumaas na yung sweldo, meron pa rin distrust sa PNP. Meron mga SWS surveys for last months, kahit medyo matagal future survey. Ang SWS, nade-delay sila. Ang sinasabi ay meron pa rin silang takot na baka mag-abuso ang police. At ang isa sa mga solutions na sinasabi, General, is maybe the police needs an independent body to probe it. And one of the solutions that's being floated around is empowering the Internal Affairs Service or the PNP also being open to independent investigation, like from this Commission of Human Rights. What do you say to this?
Yes, Rambo. Actually, one of my plans before, which I stated to the Chief PNP before, was the IMEG, or the Integrity Monitoring Enforcement Group, to be under ES, so that this will be the operational arm of ES. Empowering ES is very good. And at the same time, we will be able to discipline our people. I think one of the things that we also need to do is that we need to enhance and improve our recruitment and selection. We need to coordinate and cooperate with universities and colleges so that we will be able to get the right person to be a policeman. What I said before was that maybe we would be able to choose from students already as early as third year criminologists, be able to improve our PNP Academy, and come up with and enhance and improve course structure in the PNP Training Institute. But that's just one. Second is the recruitment selection. We should be able to get people who will be able to be the best PNP through, of course, what? The ratings in schools, and at the same time their values, the values that we need for the PNP. The third one would be, of course, coming up with seminars and leadership courses so that abuses would be decreased. And last but not least, of course, is our leaders that will be able to lead their people the righteous way.
General, ang nakukuha ko ngayon is you want the Philippine National Police to lead by example. But how will you incentivize this? Yung bang mga commander ba, sir, na nakikitang nag-aabuso or lumalabag ng batas at saka ng ating mga lockdown rules, sila ba'y malalagot?
Yes, of course. Of course. They should be responsible for their actions. And if they are, if they violate protocol, basically, they should know that they will be lead.
Okay, General, erase ko na lang yung mga issues na sinasabi nila when it comes to accountability of the Philippine National Police. First is yung case ni General Sina sa NCRPO. Ang sinasabi nila, the Philippine National Police might be too soft on him and the officials involved in the Mañanita in May. What will you say to that?
We will evaluate that again, come up with a focus group discussion so that we would be able to know what solution we would be able to do. In the case of Sinas.
The second case, sir, is yung Holo incident na ang Philippine National Police now isn't really showing any urgency when it comes to holding these policemen accountable, and the Armed Forces of the Philippines actually came out with a statement that the investigation is taking too slow and the Philippine National Police isn't really being aggressive in investigating its own policemen.
We have that reviewed immediately. I will have a talk with General Gapay so that we will be able to resolve this immediately.
Okay, sir. Ano lang, sir, side issue that I think is also important right now is how will you address the overcrowding of detention centers right now under the pandemic?
Rambo. Actually, when I was at the NCRPO, that was one of my focus then, to decongest the jails inside the police stations. We really have to have a plan or a development plan with regard to the rehabilitation centers inside our stations, because I saw it before. They were really congested and so hot. Everything's there, and a lot of dirt. I hope that we would be able to discuss this with the local government units so that they would be able to help us.
Down to the last few questions ako, which
Yes.
is medyo urgent din kasi, sir, the COA released its report on the Philippine National Police yesterday, and they found that, and actually they have been saying this for years now, billions of pesos worth of equipment have been delayed in delivery for the PNP. What happened there? 6.5 billion daw, sir, for the past 10 years, and then under the administration, worth 1 billion ang mga equipment na hindi pa daw nakakarating sa PNP.
Not privy to that, Rambo. I will
Okay.
have discussed.
Okay, sir. Malayo na, sir, ang inyong narating as a PNP general. First, as someone who has been leading police stations in Visayas and Mindanao, tapos naging DO ka ng Philippine National Police, and you were one of the brains behind the Upland Double Barrel. Is there anything that you want changed dito sa mga nagawa niyo before? Anything that you would have done differently before reaching this point?
Well, you know what, Rambo? When I was also the director for operations, I had I conceptualized actually the enhanced managing police operations that dealt more on anti-criminality, anti-insurgency, and anti-terrorism. And from then on, it was fused as the PNP strategy. That PNP operational strategy should be studied by all our people in the PNP so that they would be able to know the administrative requirements and needs of our people in the ground. You know what, Rambo? If you would be able to understand that operational strategy, you would have to read between the lines. What does the admin people need to do? And they would be able to respond well. That's what I teach them. Likewise, I'm just hoping that we will be able to start the development plan. It's a long-term plan, but there are shorter plans embedded on it. But I just hope that it would be an initial plan to pave the way for the next chief PNP, be able to understand it, evaluate it again on a yearly basis if he wants to. At the same time, we would be able to develop CRAME and other regional offices, be able to decongest CRAME, be able to develop a lot of facilities, most especially when it comes to billeting or quartering of our people. That's one of the issues actually in the PNP. No quarters, having hard time looking for billeting outside of your camps, but it will be very, very hard for you, most especially if the area is an ISO area or insurgency area. So that is why we need to delve on the issues of the PNP, internally and externally. Externally, the violations or the human rights abuse. Internally, individual training, individual differences and individual weaknesses. These are the things that we need to focus on externally, internally, so that we would come up with a better organization.
General Cascolan, you have a lot of ideas, a lot of policy ideas. We've had a lot of discussion with this, and I've interviewed you a lot of times, and
Yes.
you really have lots of proposals here. But again, there is this overarching question under your proposals that you will inevitably retire in November. How will you ensure that these policies will not be ignored once you retire?
You know what, Rambo? When you make plans, I'm just a transition leader here. As I've said, I only have 2 months to be a chief PNP. Being a transition leader, I have to embed and instill in the minds of the people that this is what the PNP needs. That's why we need people, or we need leaders who will be passionate enough to come up with ideas, maybe different from me. My ideas may be evaluated and changed, but at least I paved the way for a better organization or for a better PNP. That's what I really want. I really wish that these ideas would become the basis of all their ideas, or of all their projects and programs.
Well said, General Cascolan. Thank you for watching Rappler Talk. That has been General Camilo Cascolan, the incoming Philippine National Police Chief. Stay tuned for updates at Rappler.com and our social media accounts for more Rappler interviews and updates. Thank you for watching.